during the program, the month program, I got a small glimpse because I followed your guidelines. I met with you.
Mm.
You gave me some, advice on what I could do for the month, and I did it for 3 weeks straight. And I would say I was seeing improvement right away. I was
Mm.
like, "Whoa, whoa, wait a minute! Like, this actually works." I'll be in class. I wouldn't be able to sit still. I'll be very uncomfortable. I have pain,
Mm.
discomfort. So those symptoms were, supposedly under control with the medicine I was taking, but they'll come back, sometimes even stronger. Looking back at it now, I was pretty much eating whatever I wanted.
Mm.
Have a burger. I wanted a burger. I got it. I wanted some wings. So you name it, pizza. Pizza was my go-to actually. But I was told, constantly, you got to drink it. You're skinny or you're small. You got to drink your milk. And so I would just try to chug away at it. But I gave
Mm.
that up. I gave up the dairy. That's one of the things I found out based on the readings I would come across
Mm.
that
Mm.
that was really bad for digestion. So the first thing was the hope. All these in and out visits to doctors and hospitals. I was like, you know what, there has to be another way.
Mm.
So I had hope that there was another way. The last part was really believing that, you know, number one, that God was in my favor, and number two, that my body could heal. Yeah, I'm loving it, man.
Mm.
My taste buds are not hijacked anymore, by
Mm.
all these processed food that I was eating. So now
Mm.
I'm enjoying a salad. I'm enjoying, all these steamed vegetables. So I'm having a blast, to be honest. Just being able to enjoy food again. Early December, I believe it was. I had COVID, and then it was the first thing was fear once again. Something happened to
Mm.
me. It was happening to my body. Like all these thoughts came rushing in. To be honest, one of the pieces of mind I have is going out.
Mm.
Going out to the grocery store, wherever I could during this moment,
Yeah.
wherever I could go. I don't have to worry about where's the nearest toilet. Waking up feeling good,
Mm.
new day, new opportunities. So so yeah, I feel like I have a second chance at doing a lot of things in life.
Congratulations, man. You now have life after colitis.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
I love
Oh,
saying that,
yeah.
man. I love
Hey,
saying
man. Feels
that.
good, man. Feels good. Thank you very much.
Give this video a thumbs up if you know what it's like to live with IBD, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. This channel is designed to help people recover from colitis, Crohn's, and any other form of IBD. You can always head to our website, highcarbhealth.com, for a free 30-minute consultation from anywhere in the world. And remember, there is a life after colitis. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today is testimonial time, and I'm joined here by Omar, who has healed from colitis and COVID-19. How about that, man? Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Fantastic, bro. Well, look, let's get started. Let's talk about your journey. It's been a really fascinating journey. I think a lot of people are going to be inspired by what you've been able to achieve, some of the difficulties you've faced over the last couple of years. So, you first actually started working with us. Was it in 2019?
Yeah, 2019. Yep.
Yeah. So talk about, before we get to that, why don't we just talk about your journey? Like, how did you get diagnosed? Some of the things that happened to you, some of the symptoms that you experienced.
Okay. Well, first of all, 2013 was when I was officially diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Prior to that, a couple years maybe or so, I was already experiencing symptoms, but it was one of those things where I'll go to the doctor and they'll just tell me, "Here, take this and be on your way." So the symptoms will go away, and then I'll be okay. I'm fine. But when I was in college at
Mm.
UCLA for my undergrad, um, yeah, 2013, 2012, it got pretty bad. I was in and out of hospitals, and then 2013 was when I actually went to see a
Mm.
doctor, and I was diagnosed there with ulcerative colitis. So from there, it's just been until I actually graduated, which was 2015. Those 3 years, or those 2 years, back and forth in and out of hospitals, medication,
Mm.
all kinds of medication to be exact. So they tried steroids, all these kind of things, and yeah, it was just a roller coaster. And once I finally graduated, I was able try something different, do some research or look up something else because I was pretty much getting tired of the life I was living. And, I messed up my undergrad experience. Um, it was one of those things where I had to take action.
Mm.
So I decided to, do my homework and
Right.
try to find another way.
Yeah, before we get into that, you're saying it's pretty bad and you're in hospital. What kind of symptoms are you experiencing?
So blood in the stool, first of
Mm.
all,
Mm.
indigestion problems, bloating. Um, got to a point where I'll have a meal. This was when I was in college. I'll have a meal and I'll go to the restroom, like, say, 15, 20 minutes after.
Mm.
I'll be in class. I wouldn't be able to sit still. I'll be very uncomfortable. I have pain,
Mm.
discomfort. So those symptoms were, supposedly under control with the medicine I was taking, but they'll come back, sometimes even stronger.
Mm.
So couple of flare-ups. I guess that's what they're called, flare-ups. When you go to the hospital, they, put the IV, they did all that stuff to stabilize me, and they'll release me like in a couple of days, and a few months I'll be okay with the medicine they gave me, but then the symptoms will come right back. So
Mm.
it was pretty much like a roller coaster with the symptoms, with in and out of hospitals and
Mm.
doctor visits and all that.
Mm. And what kind of food were you eating? You said you have a meal and you had to go for 15 minutes later.
Yeah. So looking back at it now, I was pretty much eating whatever I wanted.
Mm.
Have a burger. I wanted a burger. I got it. I wanted some wings. So you name it. Pizza. Pizza was my go-to actually.
Mm.
So I had a lot of that, even though I'll have those symptoms. I'll be like, what? Maybe I gotta do it differently. Maybe I should take this
Mm.
along with the food. Along with the food,
Mm.
maybe
Mm.
that's gonna help it. So I'll
Mm.
do that, play with it, but pretty much, a lot of junk food is
Yeah.
what I eat. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of the medications you're taking, what kind of medications were you on?
So I was on mesalamine.
Mm-hmm.
I was on steroids, uh, and prednisone, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I was on those, and I was on other ones under the same category,
Yeah.
but different, I guess, names. But it
Yep.
was mostly those two, a lot of the mesalamine and a lot of the prednisone, a lot of the steroids. So I had a lot of that in my system.
All right, cool. So, obviously you kind of went through the motions with the medication and just eating whatever you wanted and just trying to say, okay, well, the medication is going to help me eventually, but it didn't. And so you end up trying some different things, right? You're trying to find different ways and different approaches. I think there must be something else into this.
Yeah, yeah.
What was going through your mind and what kind of things did you find?
Well, in the process with eating the food I was eating, you know, um, I started looking into alternatives,
Mm-hmm.
and what I was considered was lactose intolerant. So that was a big thing for me. I never really liked milk, but I was told, constantly, you got to drink it. You're skinny or you're small, you got to drink your milk, and so I would just try to chug away at it. But I gave
Mm-hmm.
that up. I gave up the dairy. That's one of the things I found out based on the readings I would come across that
Mm-hmm.
that was really bad for digestion. So I gave that up. As
Yeah.
one of those things, and then but the diet was one of those things where I wanted to still eat what I wanted to eat, but just
Mm.
maybe less of it. So I'll tweak it up.
Mm.
But once I came across all the side effects and all the studies with a high protein diet and all those things, so I just pretty much started cutting back on all of that, little by little.
Yeah. And where did you find that information from?
First, first was online. I did some research on the you know readings like YouTube, where Dr. Greger, he
Mm-hmm.
provided a lot of resources. I read, came across his book, How
Mm-hmm.
Not to Die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you guys, after you guys were like, the tip of the iceberg. Like I was just coming across different people, different resources telling me the same thing. Like
Mm.
high meat diet is bad. A lot of lactose in your diet is bad. So I can't think of all of them, but
Mm.
at the moment, but it was article upon article upon article that I will come across of all these side effects of the sad American diet, you know.
Mm.
So that's what I'll come across, and then ultimately on YouTube was I came across different people. I forgot the doctor's name, but he said the same thing, that it was possible to reverse this disease with
Mm.
just changing your lifestyle and stop taking the medicine they were giving me. And then finally, I came across Sham's story and
Mm.
how he healed colitis, and the book, the self healing colitis and Crohn's book. I read that as well. How to heal on your
Mm.
own,
Mhm.
and then but it was that was a lot of information for me. So I followed you guys like you know for like 2 years, to be honest. When you Sham's story, your story, and how you guys heal different diseases or different health conditions.
Mhm.
So I did that, and one day I was just like, you know what, let me try it. So that's when I started transitioning into a plant-based lifestyle.
Right. Right. And what made you want to contact us? Obviously, at some point you reached out and wanted to have a chat to Sham. And
Yeah.
yeah, what made you want to reach out, and how did the first meeting go?
So the first thing was the hope.
Mm.
All these in and out visits to doctors and hospitals. I was like, you know what, there has to be another way.
Mm.
So I had hope that there was another way, and I feel like God was showing me this other opportunity where all these testimonials, on YouTube, and
Mm.
I was like, I looked at Sham's story, and I was like, wow, like he had it worse than me. I
Mm.
felt that way, and I was like, if he had it worse than me, and all these testimonials on the YouTube page, like, there has to be hope here. So that was my first thing. My first instinct was hope, and to
Mhm.
give it a try. So
Mhm.
like, I set up the free consultation. I talked to Shan, and the first thing that one of the advices he gave me was, about my diet, how I was doing it, because by that time I was already trying to follow a plant-based lifestyle.
Mhm.
So he was very helpful. He was very informative, and he was very encouraging. And he told me if I wanted to, that you guys were there,
Mm.
as an additional guidance.
Yeah.
And at that point, when my first consultation back in April of 2019, um, I thought I could do it, like 100% on my own.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Thank you. I thank you for the information. I'm gonna take this with me, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So that's
Mm.
what I did. I gave it a shot on my own, and
Mm.
then fast forward another year, 2020, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I got in far,
Yeah.
plant-based lifestyle, got far,
Mm.
but I still need that structure, that less, guidance to get me to the finish line.
Yeah. Let's
So then
just
that's how.
let's just pause for a minute, because 2019 is probably a pretty tough year for you, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
So just I'm so inspired by our story. I think everyone needs to understand that, no matter how tough your situation is, you can still try. You can still give things a go, and you don't have to give up. Just because you're struggling um, in different aspects of your life. So, I think you've done a great job to turn that around. But when you first worked with us in 2019 for a month, and you really couldn't afford anything more than that, um, and so you gave everything up, but you didn't succeed the first time, did you? Because you just didn't
Mm,
have enough time, and your
mm,
personal situation was tricky too. So just talk to me, because there'll be people in the same situation or similar situation to you, thinking, I don't think I can do it. My everything's too tough for me. Just give them some advice, and talk to people about what you were going through.
of course. Thank you for that. Yeah. So pretty much 2019 was a tough year, very tough year. I'm trying to have like flashbacks.
Mm.
I was homeless. I was homeless at the time. I didn't have
Mm.
a stable home. I was couch surfing, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even worse than that, staying,
Mm-hmm.
in my car and whatnot. But
Yeah.
without going too much into detail with that, I was going with the symptoms with the colitis, and I was like, you know what?
Mm.
This is a tough situation. It's a tough situation. I don't have a stable home.
Mm.
I'm having this condition, and I was staying at hotels, for example, and then it was really tough. So, but at the same time, I didn't want to give up. I didn't
Mm.
want to give up. I'll listen to the testimonials, and thank God I'm here now on the other side. But when I heard these testimonials, it was like, you know what? There's hope here for me. There's inspiration here.
Mm.
So I decided to still do it. I was like, no, let me get this, let me give it a month.
Mm.
I think it was the Speedy program or
Yeah.
Starter program. I was like, let me give it a month, let me try see how it goes. And that small glimpse for me. And keep in mind, this was at work, and at work it was a pinnacle moment as well because I was in line for a promotion. as
Mm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So this opportunity opened up, and I was homeless at the time, and I was dealing with this condition. So I was like, you know what? My goal was the same. I wanted a better life. I wanted a better way of living. So I just did what I could. It was messy. It was, tough.
Mm.
You could just imagine how emotionally that took a toll. But I stayed on the mark, and then thankfully I got the promotion. Well, this was after the fact. During the program, the month program, I got a small glimpse because I followed your guidelines. I met with you.
Mm.
You gave me some, advice on what I could do for the month, and I did it for 3 weeks straight. And I would say I was seeing improvement right away. I was
Mm.
like, "Whoa, whoa, wait a minute! Like, this actually works because
Mm.
where I was at the moment, I was already seeing benefits. It was helping me live my life. It was helping me get by. So that little, short period of time that I got with you, boosted me up, and I ended up getting my promotion. I ended up, changing my lifestyle. I ended up finding a place. So even though it was for that 1 month, I took that with me,
Mm.
all the way. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this because I know it works. I saw it myself
Mm.
for a small period of time. So now I just, but yeah, I went for it.
Yeah, you kept going, but obviously, um, you just needed a little bit more support to finish the job, didn't you? So in 2020, last year, you came back and signed up for the
Hmm.
program again, and this time you did 6 months because you could, which is awesome,
Yeah, this was
Um,
possible.
yeah, it was possible this time. Yeah, just let's talk through how your healing journey went. Like, the second time that you gave it a go, what were your symptoms like, and how did you find that experience?
Right. So the second time, I was like, I had gotten over that. I guess I have no shame in saying it, that victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I was very like, why me? Why me?
Mm-hmm.
All the things I just shared with you.
Mm.
I was very questioning, like, why? But at that point, I was like, enough of that. This is my life. This is what I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take charge of it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I contacted you. You were very helpful. You allowed me to come back in the program, and then I was able to do the 6 months. Um, I was 1 month in. Because keep in mind, I already had adopted of like a plant based
Mm.
for the most, like 80%, 70% plant based. So I already had a like foot in the door.
Yeah.
And when I was able to finally get on board again, your guidance once again, the resources you pointed out to me, like that was very helpful because I had a lot of questions still.
Mm-hmm.
But I did the homework, I read the resources you provided, and then from there on, it was just application. So I did the modifications.
Mm-hmm.
I did the little tweaks here and there, and a couple weeks, I had symptoms, little small symptoms still because I had just had a flare up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was February of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a flare up of 2020 on the February. Then I was coming off the meds, doing it all over again, and I met with you guys. I met with you,
Mm.
and right away, like in a month, I was very, you know, I was back to that place where I had experienced it the year before that. I was
Mm.
okay. I'm getting my energy back. I'm getting my, you know, um, like I was able to just take charge of my life again. Small
Mm.
steps, but I saw the ray of hope again when I joined again.
Yeah. And you didn't have like a really severe detox or anything because you've actually been
Mm,
had cleaned up your diet a reasonable amount, hadn't you? So, and you've been through a bit of a healing crisis before you joined us again. So you'd gone through that kind of severe um, healing period before you joined the program. But it still wasn't easy. It still took a little while for you to fully get confidence in your body again. Um, so just talk it through, like, once you kind of like get very close to the healing, the last bit can take a little bit longer because
mm,
the final bit is up there, isn't it?
right,
So talk
right,
about this, man,
yes,
because this was a huge part of
yeah,
our consultation towards the end of the journey, man. Just
yeah,
trying to get the
yeah,
mental side of it sorted out.
yeah. I agree, man. Like, there was this very helpful video you guys posted. It was you talking about, it takes like five aspects. It's the mind,
Mm,
the body, the water,
mm,
the stress, all the rest, all these things you pointed out. And
mm,
when since I didn't have that severe of a detoxification process because I had already gone through most of it
mm,
with the diet I already had adopted. So I had that, you know, that initial start. But
mm,
the last part was what you talked about, the mind. It was, I had to get used to a sleep schedule.
mm-hmm,
It was to help my body heal and my body rest up. And for me, it was very, because it was an emotional experience for me.
mm-hmm,
And mentally, it was it was difficult because I still feel, most of the symptoms were gone. The detoxification process was pretty much over, but it was just the tiredness. I
mm,
will feel tired a lot, and sometimes I'll have good days, sometimes I'll have bad days, and
mm,
then that will really bring me down because I'll be like, okay, so this is, what's gonna happen? Is this all over again? Do I have to go through another detox phase? So I was really battling with that, and the last part was really believing that, you know, number one, that God was in my favor, and number two, that my body could heal.
mm,
So that was the most difficult part for me because I'm very um, intellectual or logical, however you want to call it. Like, oh, I feel this. Let me find out why do I feel this, or
mm, mm,
I'm tired. It must be this. It must be because I'm not maybe
mm,
doing this, eating this, or
mm,
so. That was the difficult part for me, overcoming that, and there was a lot of fear, a lot of fear, because you get it constantly, like, you're not doing the right thing. You should be seen by a doctor. You should be doing this. A lot of, um, people pushing different directions, but I just had to stay firm in my belief that the healing was possible, that
mm,
I could heal,
mhm.
and little by little, yeah, I got over that, and I just started embracing it. When you told me one of the sessions, you were like, you know what, you're healed, man. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, like, if he's saying it, maybe it's true. Maybe I should start believing it. And I was
Yeah.
like, from then, I started mentally approving. I was like, you know what, okay, it is true. I'm healed. I feel better now. I'm
Mm,
exercising again. All these things started happening, but I had to
mm,
mentally believe in it and accepted that it was possible.
yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, you got through all of that, man, and your body was working, and you introduced all the food back into your diet, and you're eating.
Hmm.
And actually, I think you actually even introduced beans before I suggested it to you. I
Right,
remember I was talking to you
right.
oh, I had beans. I was like, you did what? And you're like, yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine. I was like, okay, cool, let's carry on.
yeah, man.
Um,
They're a
um,
staple, man. So
yeah, yeah, I know. But you've able to digest them fine.
yeah,
Which a lot of people find that hard to do when they've got gut
yeah.
issues. Beans are like one of the hardest things. Salads,
Mm,
all those things are really difficult for people to deal with. Raw
mm,
vegetables, and you can eat all
mm.
those now, can't you?
Yeah, I'm loving it, man.
Mm,
My taste buds are not hijacked anymore. By
mm,
all these processed food that I was eating. So now
mm,
I'm enjoying a salad. I'm enjoying, all these steamed vegetables. So I'm having a blast, to be honest. Just being able to enjoy food again.
mm,
And if there's something I can't have, yet, or I'm still taking it slow, I
mm,
try to make it myself. I try to make it myself. I try to make it
yeah.
myself, or a more healthier version, if you can say that.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm really grateful to be where I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. It's epic. It's epic. And yeah, the other thing we wanted to talk about in this meeting is, very topical to today is,
Yeah,
you got tested positive for COVID-19.
yeah, yes, sir.
No,
Yeah.
you're the first person I know that's got tested positive.
Oh
Um,
man.
but maybe the second. But I think, yeah, first person that I really know that actually got sick from it. And
Right.
um, the most amazing thing about this whole thing is, what we always talk about: the body heals itself if you
Right.
give it the right conditions. The body can
Right.
heal from colitis, the body can heal from viruses and bacteria and things like that. So if you give it the right conditions, you can heal, and you did.
Hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Mm,
Early early December, I believe it was. I had COVID, and then it was the first thing was fear once again. So it happened to
Mm.
me. It was happened to my body. Like all these thoughts came rushing in, but
Mm.
I stuck to my faith. I was like this. I overcame colitis,
Mm.
something that's considered medically incurable,
Mm-hmm.
and then this will be no different. That was my mindset going in,
Mm-hmm.
and I just followed. I actually didn't. I actually just stuck with what I was doing.
Mm.
Plant based, rest. Um, I upped the water a bit because I
Mm-hmm.
ended up feeling more thirsty than usual, but I did that. But nothing else really changed. It was just a lot of rest, a lot of rest.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying it was pleasant. Of course not.
Mm.
But I knew what I had to do. I knew I just had to give the body what it wanted. I wasn't gonna, you know, push myself.
Mm.
And then I took it slow, and I
Mm.
just stuck to the healing diet once again. And thankfully, after a few days, I started getting my flavor back and my
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah.
I had lost, so I was, so yeah, it was just one of those things. It was just a very intense week, but a few days. But yeah, I was able to feel better right away the next week.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's a very common experience. I think for most people, it feels like a slightly bad cold. For most people,
Yeah,
that's kind of what it
yeah,
feels like. So, and yeah, as I said, like we're strong believers. We don't live our lives in fear. You know,
mm,
we don't live our lives in fear because what's the point? You're gonna be scared all
right,
the time. There's no point in doing that. You got to get on with your life. You got to enjoy your life. Let's not live life in fear. And as you can see, it's possible. If you do the right things, give your body some rest, and you just heal, and just let your body do what it needs to do. So,
correct.
I think I think it's important to share that, because all you see in the media is the fear around this. So you don't realize that the vast majority of people actually recover, and they're not all dying. Everyone who gets it's going to die. In fact, most people aren't. So
Right.
that's the thing. You can recover, and you most likely you will, and just like Omar has.
Yeah, it's that fear.
Mm.
The news plays on that very well. Puts fear in people. But those what about those miracle stories? The ones people overcame it.
Mm.
You know, they talk about the deaths.
Mm.
And it's a very sad part of it.
Mm.
But what about the people that have overcame it? What
Mm-hmm.
about the people that bless their souls? What they have gone through with their families. But the good should be celebrated as well.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. That's
I
what we're here to
overcame.
do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so that's what it was. Just I was blocking it all out. I was like, no, like,
Mm.
I know my body could do it. It can heal, and it will heal. And then the majority of people do experience, like you said, like cold-like symptoms,
Mm.
and then they get over it. But
Yep.
so yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much
and
what it
as you
was.
say,
It was
we're
just
not detracting from the fact that people have died. It has happened, but you know,
right.
at the end of the day, we have to actually move on and not live our lives in fear. I think that's one of the most important things I wanted to share is
Mm,
that we should not live our lives in fear. And bad
correct.
things happen, unfortunately, but living our lives in fear is going to attract that to us, and we have to focus on what we want, and that's the key thing, that with healing from colitis, healing from anything, when we focus on what we want, that's what we get more of, and that's what we need to do. So,
Right. Couldn't say it better. Yep.
yeah, congratulations on you really worked hard on your mind. You focused, instead of focusing on what you don't want all the time, you started focusing on what you do want. When you
Yeah.
focus on what you want, that's what you get. When you focus on what you don't want, that's what you get. you
Right.
know so let's all have a real positive focus this year, guys. Let's focus on what we want this year, and put our attention on that.
I couldn't agree more. It's just one
mm,
of those. It's just mindset. It's just. It sounds very simple,
mm,
but first is the belief. That you got to start with that belief that it's possible. The belief that you will heal. The
mm,
belief that there is still good in the world. All
mm-hmm,
these, positive things. Stick with that.
mm.
And
And
believe
there's
in
way
yourself.
more
And
good than bad in this world, man. You go around,
yeah,
you meet people, like I've traveled around the world, been to all sorts of different countries, man. Everyone's kind.
mm,
Focus on kind people, you meet kind people. I've
Right.
traveled 7 weeks around the US and Canada, man. Lovely people, some of the most friendly
Mm.
people I've ever met. I've been to Asia.
Right.
Um, you go there, people are kind, and
Mm.
generally people want to be kind. It's just that, you know, you only see the stuff that we don't like on the, because what, kind people aren't, that's not what's going to get TV ratings. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That's not
it
a kind gesture.
doesn't,
Won't get
drama
ratings.
drama gets ratings, so
Right.
that's the problem. We kind of see this over dramatized world. um
Mm.
but we're kind of digressing now a little bit.
Right. Just
More
a little bit.
philosophical discussion, but it's a
Right.
cool
Right.
it's a cool way to, because actually a lot of healing from colitis is part of changing the way you philosophically see the world.
Yeah.
And changing your mindset, and focusing on healing, and moving away from the fear, because that's all you get. The doctors put a lot of fear into you. You're never going to heal. You're never going to get better. You're on medication for the rest of your life. And if you actually believe that, then that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You believe in yourself, and you believe in your body, and you have the strength and the courage to actually take that leap of faith. You believe in faith. You have a strong faith. You have to have some sort of faith, and you believe in yourself, and you can do it. You can do
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. You can.
So you kind of got back to the post healing, and what I like to do at the end of these meetings is talk about what your life is like now. What can you do? You get outside and get active again. You can
Mm.
enjoy your work. Just talk about what your life is like now.
So my life now, first and foremost, is my physical. I don't know, my activity. Physical activity has increased again.
Mm,
I was, at a pretty young age, encouraged to, fitness, exercise, what have you. So look, the colitis took a lot of that away from me, and so now that I'm in the like finally healed, and I'm this part of the process, I'm getting back to that again. So I'm
mm,
exercising, taking it slow. I know I'm not supposed to rush it, so I'm doing that. I'm very eager to do it already. So that's one thing. Just to be honest, one of the peace of mind I have is going out.
mm.
Going out to the grocery store, wherever I could during this moment,
Yeah.
wherever I could go. I don't have to worry about where's the nearest toilet, where's the nearest restroom. Like that's just a peace of mind for me that I have now
Mm,
because I feel much better. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm making plans now,
mm,
travel or to spend time with loved ones or just have fun, so a lot of fun was taken away from me
mm,
because of that. So now I'm just looking forward to that. So
mhm,
and on top of that, yeah, just waking up feeling good,
mm.
new day, new opportunities. So it's so yeah, I feel like I have a second chance at doing a lot of things in life.
Yeah, that's so important, because a lot of people I work with, they tell me, I've got a second chance. I got my life back. Got a second chance, and you get more motivated not to waste it. Like when
Yeah.
you when you when you when you've had it good, and then that gets taken away from you, and you've got to worry about where the next toilet is, and you worry about blood in
Hmm.
your stool, and you can't enjoy your life. You can't do the things you want to do, and then you heal yourself, and now you got it back. It gives you a
Yeah.
renewed sense of purpose, I think, to make the most of your life. um, and the best part is you don't have to be on any medications.
Yeah, that's something I don't have to worry about, like
Hmm.
side effects and all these things. It's just something less to worry about. So I'm grateful for that
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah, and I think you're one of the best placed people to talk about this next section, where we end the meeting with giving advice. You know,
Right.
as we talked about this a lot during our consultations. You wanted to pay it forward. You wanted to. You benefited so much from the testimonials that you wanted to be there to encourage the next person to heal themselves. And you've been through a lot, man. So, someone who's watching this, who's dealing with IBD and having a tough time with it, what would you tell them? Like, what kind of advice would you give someone who's watching?
So the first thing I would say is don't give up, um, despite of what people tell you
Mm,
or what has been ingrained in you. it's tough. We get it. It's tough. I
Mm,
get it. Um, but listen to that. That small still voice inside of you that tells you, there's more to this. There's hope. You still listen to that voice and just stick to it. It may take you different pathways, but the main thing is that you don't settle. Don't settle for where
mm,
you are right now.
mm,
Don't settle for your current state, because there's more to life than that. I strongly believe we were born to thrive, and we were
mhm,
born to be happy and enjoy
mhm.
a good life.
Yep.
And if there's anything in the way of that, you know, try to do something about it. And of course, there's the medical, side, there's the doctors and all that. But if that doesn't work, don't be shy to try something else.
Mhm,
Maybe that steak, that you're eating, or maybe too much of, whatever it is that I used to eat a lot of. Try tweaking things up, and
mm,
I would just say that, man, just don't give up, seek
mm,
help. I was fortunate enough to, come across you guys, come across Sham's story, and it's very motivational to
mm,
me.
mm.
And, you could be next. You could be that next person, talking about how you overcame colitis or whatever, disease. So yeah, just don't give up. We feel like we need you as well.
Mm. Yeah, fantastic, man. That's beautiful advice. I don't think
Thank you.
I could say it much better, dude. So, um, yeah, man, we're always enjoy these conversations, man, because it's like
Mm,
completing the circle, isn't it? Like
mm,
finishing the story. You've done it. You've done
right.
done really well. And Sham and I are real proud of you, bro. You've just put in the hard
Thank you.
work and you put your head down and you did what you had to do. And yeah, you basically told that victim to shut up and brought the champion out,
Hmm.
and,
Yep.
and, and did what you had to do. So congratulations, man. You now have life after colitis.
Yes, sir. Thank you very
I
much.
love
Are you
saying that,
there?
man. I love saying
Hey, man. Feels good, man. Feels
that.
good. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's all we have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you liked Omar's story, please give the video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. If you click on that little bell notification, you get notified of all our uploads. So give that a go, and therefore you'll get notifications for everything that we upload. And if you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. And yeah, man, again, to Omar, thanks so much for joining me today, bro. Congratulations again. And for everyone watching, we'll see you next time. Eat plants and lots of them. Take care.